Hello and welcome. This is MasterFiggy, and I'll be giving you an anime review on Magic Kaito 1412. Please enjoy. This anime is based off of Gosho Aoyama's 1987 manga that shares the same name. And there was an OVA series, but this is the first time where they actually made a proper 24 episode series based off of his manga. The story is about a young boy by the name of Kaito Kuroba, who is very interested in magic, and 8 years ago his father died. And only recently he finds this secret lair, sort of like a bat cave, but like it's all pimped out with like a jukebox, magic, magician's props, stuff like that. And he finds out that his father was once the world-renowned criminal Kaito Kid, or as the English translation is, Kid the Phantom Thief. And basically, Kaito finds out that his father was this thief, Kaito Kid, even though currently now there is another Kaito Kid impersonating him and robbing jewels all around the city. So Kaito basically dresses up as Kaito Kid and confronts the imposter, and he finds out that there's his father's old apprentice is actually trying to get his attention, and he also finds out that there's an organization that actually killed his father, and they are looking for a jewel that supposedly grants them immortality. So Kaito basically takes on the identity of Kaito Kid and uses his magic skills to rob jewels around the world before any of the this organization try and steals these jewels, and hopefully it's not the one that they're looking for, known as Pandora. The main character, Kaito, is just your average student who really enjoys magic, and he's a bit of a freelancer. He doesn't really care about anything. But he's well renowned for magic. Even his friend Aiko is like always obsessed about, like, she's sick of the fact actually that he's always like obsessed with magic, and it's all he really cares about. And he doesn't really seem as if to care what people think, except when his father died. And you could tell he respected his father so much because he was a magician also. And knowing that someone killed him really drove his vengeance a lot, forcing him more to take on the role of Kaito Kid and taking revengeance on them, but not killing them, just stopping them from achieving their dreams, really. He's also helped by this elderly man by the name of G, who was once the apprentice of the former Kaito Kid. G is basically like the Alfred to Kaito's Bruce Wayne. Like, he supplies him with gadgets, he keeps his identity secret, he refers to him as Master. He pretty much like respects him so much, and especially he respected his father as well. Also, you have Aiko, Kaito's best friend. She basically tells him off a lot. She's kind of sick of his obsession with magic, and she also secretly likes him, though he doesn't really know it. And it's one of those classic stories. Then Aiko has a father who's an inspector, Nakamori, who is after Kaito Kid. And Kaito doesn't think much of him as really as a challenge. He sees him more as just a basic, just something easy to get past. He always makes fun of him, sees him as more of a clown, really, I guess. And then also there's Conan from the Detective Conan series, which is interesting to see those two challenge, and sometimes you'll actually see a representative of the organization that killed his father appear every so often. The story itself is very basic, and A lot of the episodes are, well, half the series is standalone episodes, so they don't really have much to do with the main story, other than the fact that uh, Kaito Kid is trying to steal a jewel, checks to see if the jewel is the one that he's looking for, and then just basically returns that jewel. That's actually a rule of his. Every time he steals a jewel, he sends it back to Inspector Nakamori. And nothing really changes in terms of each episode, other than the fact the method being used. And a lot of the times you would have a different person challenging Kaito Kid, helping the inspector out. But a lot of the time it's just basically Inspector Nakamori giving out. He thinks he caught Kaito, then he's like, oh no, damn it, how did he break free? Kaito Kid leaves with the jewel and then just sends off the note. And it's good sometimes, but it's not. Sometimes it can be a little bit boring, but it's always interesting to see the method, how he does each trick, and sometimes he actually is challenged by different thieves around the world. Like there's a French thief known as the Black Cat, and they're very interesting episodes and very enjoyable. Like, I mean, yes, it can get a bit boring at times. You know the outcome, but I mean, when you're reading like a Batman comic or Superman or Marvel comics or whatever, you know pretty much most of the time the superhero is gonna win. So yeah, with this, yeah, you know Kaito's gonna steal a jewel. You know he's gonna just return it, but it's always interesting to see the method on how he does it. He does it all the time. Like, I mean, he uses a gun that shoots playing cards. He uses disguises a lot that are absolutely perfect. Um, he's able to outsmart so many police officers. There's even an episode where he actually helps the inspector catch himself, and it works really well. I think it's mainly because he didn't want another inspector to take his job who's more competent than he is. But at the same time, you know, I wish that sort of developed the inspector more himself, but after that episode, it was always just the same then. You don't see him really thinking more like he did in that episode, which is really a shame because I would have loved to have seen that. But a lot of the time, he's more like a Zenigata character from Lupin. He's just overly obsessed with catching Kid, and he just basically has a bunch of police officers that just jump in, and then Kaito is able to disguise himself so easily as a police officer and make his way out of there no problem. Uh, the ending of this anime was very entertaining. It was a two-part episode, and I think Gosho only created the last two or three chapters about 3 years ago, I think 3 or 4 years ago. So it was a good gap between from when he began in '87 to 2011 2012. And I think that after he just basically completed those three chapters, they decided to do this anime, and the ending was entertaining. It did leave an open end for maybe another series, but it wasn't like too open, so you weren't disappointed with the ending. It was entertaining, though some bits were a bit iffy. I thought they could have added maybe a little bit more to it, added a little bit more of a challenge, but it was still worthwhile watching, and I really enjoyed it thoroughly. For those of you who only watch dub, unfortunately this is only subbed as of March 2015 right now. I really hope Funimation actually picked this up. They usually do great jobs in dubs, and if they do, I would really enjoy seeing Jerry Jewell, I think I pronounced that right, as the voice for Kaito, because he voiced Shinichi, or Jimmy, in the Case Closed anime that they did, and in the Japanese they actually kept the same voice actor who did Shinichi and Kaito Kid in the Detective Conan anime in this series. So I think it would be nice just to see Jerry Jewell in this voice role, but they'll probably get like someone like Tob Havercorn. Not that I have anything against him, it's just it would have been nice to see Jerry Jewell, and I can't recall him being in much dubbing roles recently, anyway. But uh, the Japanese do a great job uh, voicing the characters, and the music to this series is absolutely brilliant. The ending songs and opening songs were great. I love listening to the ending songs so much. Uh, and the opening, I listened to that like a few times. After like I finish an episode, I would like go onto YouTube, just type it in, and listen to the songs. They're absolutely fantastic, I think, and they're really catchy. Also, the animation for the series is really great. It's what you'd expect. It's like some of them are like watching a Detective Conan episode, especially the ones mainly because they do star Detective Conan in some of the episodes. But yeah, it's absolutely superb, and the animation for the opening is brilliant, absolutely amazing. Okay, for my final verdict for this anime, I would give this 9.1 top hats out of 10 because I found it really enjoyable. The magic was very entertaining. The characters were very enjoyable. Just, I suppose I would have preferred more of a story in a way, like more of the episodes being linked together. That's why I probably dropped down a bit for me. But I still found this very enjoyable series. Hopefully, it does get dubbed, and I hope a lot of people watch it. And if anyone has seen this and looking for recommendations, off the top of my head, I would recommend checking out Detective Conan, or some of you may know it as Case Closed, because that's a brilliant series, same creator, and the main characters are kind of the same. There's just minor differences between them. Like the main character in Detective Conan is obsessed with detectives. The main character of this series is obsessed with magicians. And also those who are looking for more of a thief-like anime, I would recommend Lupin the Third because that's also quite similar. I would also like to apologize to the. It's been like a good few weeks since I've actually made a YouTube video, so like apologize if any of you were expecting a video from me. Hopefully, I'll be doing some videos over this Easter break, and please check out more of my videos. Please like this video if you enjoyed it. Comment what you thought of this anime if you saw it. Subscribe to check out more to keep updated with more of my videos, and thank you. And as Kaito kids say, please see you next illusion.